Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission as we're joined by Nicolas Mercier of Sur La Bande podcast. As throughout the year, we'd like to touch base with members of the Quebec media because we don't see those teams a lot, and nice to hear and learn about these teams before they come to Cape Breton. And the team Nicolas watches regularly, the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, will be at Centre Joinard for a pair of games on October 10th and October 11th. Nicolas, a Rouyn-Noranda team that was fairly competitive last year, although not as much so as the year before. What do you think this team is going to do this season? What are the expectations in Rouyn-Noranda?
We were not as competitive as the year before, but we kind of caused a little surprise finishing at the first place of the division. So I think it's kind of nice. But for this year, I think we're going to be a little bit less competitive than last year because we have less offensive power. But the word in the locker room right now is we need to create a surprise game.
It seems like the Huskies have done a good job of that traditionally, and one guy they are going to be relying on a lot to produce any sort of surprise would be Lars Steiner. I know some people think he could go in the first round of the NHL draft. How exciting was he to watch as a rookie, and what do you expect from him this year, maybe when he doesn't have as much help?
Like you said, it's his draft year. He will need to prove a lot of things, especially without Vero and Zonnon by his side. He's got a lot on his shoulders, but he's going to have enough opportunity to prove it.
Of course, he's a Swiss product. We're starting to see more guys coming to Switzerland. I should note as well that Gus van der Kaj, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
We pronounce it Gus van der Kaj.
Very good. Does he speak French, being a Swiss guy?
I don't think so. I did not talk to him, but I tried to pronounce his name a lot because this year I'm going to be a replacement for the arena announcer.
I know sometimes the guys come over from Switzerland and they're pretty good with French. Soche and Cape Breton is, I know that. But do you think this might be a trend for Rouyn-Noranda that they like their Swiss players now after the success of Lars Steiner last year?
Well, I think so because Gus is a friend of Lars, so we got to pick his former teammate from Davos.
And that is something that can help a player's adjustment. Talking to Nicolas Mercier, who covers the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies for the Sur La Bande podcast. We talked about Bill Zonnon earlier. They obviously make the trade to move him to the Blainville-Boisbriand Armada. Were you surprised that Zonnon was traded, or was this a case where they just had to take advantage of what they got in return for such a star player?
I think Samuel Rouyn is going to be a great player, seeing him in the camp, but it's not a secret. The Huskies will be less powerful in offense this year, but we got a lot of new kids and new guys that will soon have a big impact on the team. It's kind of interesting to see.
There is a NHL drafted player in Rouyn-Noranda this year with Samuel Meloche, the goaltender, the draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres. I think he had a good season last year. For those that don't know Samuel, what can you tell us about the Sabres prospect, Samuel Meloche?
He's not that big, but he's taking a lot of plays in his net. He got a lot of reflex. He's going to have a bigger role with the team this year. He take the place of Kyle Hagen. It will be interesting to see him when he will come back from the Sabres camp.
We had mentioned off-air before we started recording that the Eagles don't come to Rouyn-Noranda. Do you think maybe fans will be disappointed that they don't get to see every team in the league this year?
For me, yeah. But for the other fans, I don't know to talk about that pretty much. But
right.
I found that sad that we don't have to see every team in the league this year because we have Newfoundland coming.
But I guess the trade-off, the Huskies get to play Sudbury from the OHL this year.
We're going to have a match at Sudbury, and we're going to have a match in Rouyn-Noranda against the Wolves.
Is that a rivalry, do you think, the chance to play against an OHL team?
I saw a match in Timmins, Wolves against the Huskies, and it was a lot physical, right. So I think so.
That's right. I guess there is league pride on the line. We should talk as well about the 20-year-olds in Rouyn-Noranda. I know one of the 20-year-olds was just named captain of the Huskies just before we started recording. Tell us about the importance of Axel Dufresne on the blue line, as well as Benjamin Brunel and Thomas Verdun. Verdun, his numbers have almost been the same the last 3 years.
For Axel Dufresne, he's the new captain. Axel is like the veteran on the blue line, the general, the guy that's going to lead the young players at the blue line. For Brunel, he got to stay away from the injuries, but he's a great player with big heart, so I love this guy. For Verdun, he's a small player with a big will. He likes to annoy opposing goalies, so he's always a key player to have in the team.
For fans in Cape Breton that go see the Huskies on the 10th and the 11th, other than some of the stars we talked about, what should they look forward to? Is there any other interesting players to watch on this Rouyn-Noranda team?
Like I said, I think Samuel Rouyn is going to be a big impact for the team. He's what we received from the trade from Zonnon. Nico Corey, he liked to create plays and he have a great sense of hockey.
We look forward to seeing those names in action again coming up on the 10th and 11th. Thanks for telling us a little bit about the Huskies, a team we don't get to see that much. Thanks for this, Nicolas, and enjoy the season.
You're welcome.
That is Nicolas Mercier. He covers the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, a part of a network, the Sur La Bande group. They cover a number of teams in Quebec. Huskies will be in town on the 10th and 11th. Look forward to that. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.